a romantic or intimate relationship with humans. This can be out of lust, curiosity, or pure love. So they're similar to demons of lust in Western folklore, like the incubus and the succubus, but much, much worse. According to the legend, a lover genie would follow its victims everywhere they go, ruining their relationships or marriages, and making them feel drained, exhausted, and depressed all the time. It would also appear in their dreams, influence their thoughts, and sometimes possess them and take control over their minds and actions. Number 6. Abdulhab is a malicious jinn said to inhabit the sea, appearing to sailors as a human-like being covered with algae. In ancient Arabian myths, Abdulhab was believed to attack small boats, drown people, and create sea fog that would cause ships to lose their way for days. Number 5. Al-Asr, a powerful type of jinn who guards hidden treasures and is said to harm anyone who dares to get close to his domain. It often takes the form of a black snake or scorpion. It can also appear as a cloud of white or red smoke. There are so many urban legends and stories associated with the Asr. These stories often involve treasure hunters who either lost their minds or suffered severe burns after encountering this jinni. Despite how dangerous Al-Asad is, there are 3 ways to prevent him from harming you. 1. Reciting Quranic verses and religious hymns, which can literally burn him. 2. Ask the help of a magician who will use some secret magic rituals to make a deal with Al-Asad. 3. Offering red mercury, a legendary magical substance that is said to be jinn's favorite food. Number 4. Sela is a malicious female jinn that disguises herself as an attractive woman to seduce men and lure them deep into the desert before devouring them. Despite her impressive shape-shifting abilities, Sela cannot appear fully human and is always depicted as having animal features, such as hooves or horns. A more modern version of the myth describes Sela as a jinn witch with the power to control wind and lightning. She lives among humans, enjoys what we enjoy, and would even help people if they ask her to. In this version, Sela also takes the form of a charming and beautiful young woman, but this time to seduce men into marrying her and starting a family. So here, Sela is not purely evil, and is more like a nature spirit than a demonic entity. Number 3. The boogeyman of Arabian folklore. The ghoul. The ghoul is a type of evil jinn in the form of a hideous monster that inhabits graveyards and feeds on corpses. Other stories describe the ghoul as a shape-shifting demon that lurks deep in the desert or near ruins and abandoned places. It often takes the form of a hyena before attacking unwary travelers. Ghouls may also appear as someone you know, like a friend or family member, to deceive you into lowering your guard and then attack you or steal from you. Yet, in another more interesting version, ghouls are believed to be fallen jinn who once tried ascending to the heavens to spy on angels, but were hit by a comet or meteor as a punishment. After falling from heaven, they lost most of their powers and were doomed to roam the earth as hideous, ever-hungry monsters for the rest of their lives. Number 2. Marids. In Islamic tradition, Marid is the name given to the highest and most powerful class of shaitans or demons. They are rebellious, arrogant, jealous, and always evil. It is said that a shaitan turns into a Marid after rebelling against God, committing major sins, and living long enough to learn all the secrets of black magic and forbidden knowledge, thus becoming powerful and wicked enough to be referred to as Marid. So you could say that a Marid is a rank equivalent to an demon. In Arabian mythology, however, Marids are seen as a powerful type of jinn associated with water. and sometimes referred to as sea jinn. They are described as giant humanoid beings capable of predicting the future and granting wishes to people. Of course, their services are not free and are only possible if you offer something in return. So it's like making a pact with the devil. Number 1. Ifrits, the masters of fire and the most powerful and ruthless type of jinn. The Ifrit is known to be very clever and wise, but at the same time cunning and easily angered. Unlike the demonic Marad, whose goal is evil, the Ifrit can be benevolent, loyal, and helpful. A male Ifrit is called Ifrit, while a female Ifrit is known as Ifrita. They are divided into tribes and clans and live in a society ruled by kings and queens. Being the most powerful type of jinn, Ifrits are said to possess unique powers, like total fire control, spell casting, mind reading, controlling inanimate objects, assuming any form they wish, and even the ability to change humans into animals. Unlike other types of jinn, Ifrits cannot be controlled or imprisoned by humans, and the only way to summon one is by making a deal, which often comes at a great cost, like one's own freedom or even life. Jinn are classified into four main races based on their nature and abilities: Fire Jinn, Earth Jinn, Aquatic Jinn, and Air Jinn. Fire Jinn are considered to be the most powerful and dangerous race of Jinn, and are believed to be the first Jinn to inhabit the earth. They have colors resembling flames, such as red, yellow, orange, and blue, with red being the most powerful. Earth Jinn are the most common race of Jinn. They live in human houses, caves, abandoned places, and underground passages. They're known for their craftsmanship and the ability to move quickly through forests, cracks, and underground spaces. Aquatic Jinn reside underwater and rarely interact with humans. They're known for their exceptional intelligence and vast knowledge. Aquatic Jinn usually appear in the form of sea creatures and are said to have the power to create sea fog, steam, and water waves. Finally, Air Jinn, a winged race of Jinn. They're considered to be the fastest, but at the same time, the weakest race of Jinn. So that's it for today. If you're interested in this type of content, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and till next time.
Because if you've owned a home in Canada the last 9 years, your invoice has doubled under this government. Because of this, you know, consider this. Skip damage.
Yes, part of something. All these are the perfect products for my hair. Can you tell the difference? My curls feel moisturized and plump. I really hate having flat hair, but Aussie products can be the best way for me to always be active. It's honestly so amazing. I love it.
Here we are today.
Lies beneath. The key to understanding why this wondrous geological activity occurs in the most unlikely of places seems to involve their location on the surface of Triton. From the imaging data that Voyager 2 returned, it seems the geysers tend to erupt on the most sunlit part of Triton's surface. From a distance of 4.5 billion kilometers, the sun's rays are faint, and the amount of thermal energy landing on the surface is low. But combined with the specific chemistry on Triton's surface, the effect.
Yo, I wish they would just tax fucking cheaters,
What seems
people
to be
that got
happening
them.
is that
That's
sunlight
where they
falling
should
on
go
the
for.
thin layer of nitrogen ice that covers Triton is penetrating the surface and heating up a layer of darker methane particles a meter below the surface. The methane acts as a subsurface greenhouse gas, trapping the heat below the surface and radiating that heat back up through the frozen nitrogen. Even though this mechanism creates a temperature difference of just 4 degrees Celsius between the ambient surface temperature and that of the warmer interior, this difference is enough to melt the frozen nitrogen and create pockets of gas. Sitting beneath the nitrogen ice, that gas is kept under pressure building up until ultimately it punches through the nitrogen ice, creating the geysers of Triton and carrying the dark ice particles 8 kilometers into the sky. Although the faint light of the sun is just strong enough to power Triton's geysers, it's simply too weak to have driven the other geological processes that created the network of valleys and crevasses we see all across the surface. It seems that something in Triton's past must have heated the moon, drastically alter its terrain. And a potential clue to the source of that ancient heat can be found in the oddity of Triton's orbit. Unlike every other large moon in the solar system, Triton orbits in the opposite direction to the spin of the planet. Traveling around Neptune in its tidally locked orbit, with the same side facing inwards at all times, Triton orbits in a clockwise direction, while Neptune spins on its axis every 16.1 anti-clockwise. Such dissonance between the planet and satellite suggests that it is very unlikely that Triton and Neptune formed at the same time. A planet-moon system fashioned from an identical collapsing cloud of gas and dust at the same moment would tend to spin and orbit in the same direction as the spin of the initial dust cloud, just like the overwhelming majority of moons we see in the solar system today. So the most likely explanation is that Triton joined Neptune much later, a visitor to the Neptunian system that, unlike Voyager, never left. Like Uranus, we don't know for certain the deep history of Triton, but all the evidence from its orbit and surface features point to the possibility that long ago Triton was not a moon at all. To understand where it might have come from, we need to look beyond the Neptunian system and peer further out into the darkness. It was only relatively recently that we confirmed the existence of a region of the solar system known as the Kuiper Belt, a disk of millions of objects that stretches out from the orbit of Neptune to at least 50 AU from the Sun. Similar to the asteroid belt in structure, but far larger in scale. We had long speculated that such a region might exist, but it wasn't until the discovery of an icy object known as 15760 Albion in 1992 that we were able to put together a body of proof. The discovery of this region was a turning point in our knowledge about our solar system. According to Alan Stern of the New Horizons mission, the Kuiper Belt was so revolutionary because, as it's so far from the Sun, the temperatures out there are almost absolute zeros, so everything is so well preserved. It's an archaeological conversation if you consider the early history of our solar system. So it's a scientific wonder. And you put all that together, redrawing the map, putting us in our place about who's the old world now. It's not Pluto, it's the Earth or Jupiter that's the old world. And then having this museum at this place in the solar system where everything is so well preserved, I can't think of a bigger discovery that we've made. It's reshaped our thinking so far, all the decades of space exploration. Albion was the first trans-Neptunian object to be identified since the discovery of Pluto and its moon Charon. And this finding launched a flurry of further revelations that now put the number of identified objects in the Kuiper Belt region at around 2,000. We think there are at least 100,000 objects bigger than 100 kilometers wide in the Kuiper Belt. Just like the asteroid belt, this dispersed region of debris is composed from the remnants of our solar system's formation. But whereas the asteroid belt is a disk of rocky fragments, we think the Kuiper Belt is made up of icy objects, with methane, water, and ammonia the major ingredients.
You know, sometimes I
And
like
it's that
running
list of
stuff,
ingredients
and
that
my
leads us
nipples
back
get
to
like
Triton
crusty
and its strange
and like
history.
fucking dry or whatever.
We believe now that perhaps
And so
only
like,
Triton
yeah, I
grew
like
up
clean them
out
off
in
or
the Kuiper
whatever.
Belt,
But I feel
amongst
like
the millions
everyone's
of other
like so
frozen
like,
lumps
oh,
of
that's a
water
sexual
and
thing.
magma
Like, yo, my nipples are
before something such as a collision disturbed its orbit.
you know what? I wish that you all would accept the
Plucked from the
nipples,
Kuiper Belt,
because I know how
Triton would
you
be
discriminate
captured by the
against your nipples,
gravitational
and I
pull of
just want to
Neptune
bring that to everyone's
and forever
attention.
trapped in its
I am all
orbit.
about that fucking nipple love right there. Nipple
Today, Triton
love.
orbits in a nice regular
Thank
circle
you.
around Neptune, a bit like the way that our moon orbits around the Earth.
Stop fearing the nipple,
But to begin with,
everybody.
this newly captured satellite would
Everyone
almost
likes a good
certainly
pair, you know?
glancing past the planet path around Neptune. bringing it from far out to close in. This would have meant that a trichromatic object stretching and squashing, just as Jupiter does to Iron today.
All stations, this is Shadow 01. Deployment to the war zone has been authorized.
What in the Dumbledore's office is going on?
Through the
The secret compartments that if you put your keys in it, you'll never see it again.
Head shed gave the green light.
He's so
To
cute.
the front line. You're up.
It's
Ready to
a
shoot.
tape with lights, it's in it, you know. I ain't saying shit.
Watch your ass down there.
has been suggested to a more regular circular path.
Oh, you have to put it in its tail
I'll meet you on
feathers.
the other side.
So excellent frozen.
Battle Royale.
Oh my god, this is such a cool table.
On your position. Suggest you hightail it out of
This
there.
is where they keep the drugs.
You change the secrets, right? Okay.
A scientist definitely
Oh my gosh.
If you put the keys in the drawers, you wouldn't know where it was. Because if you did, it's not, it's there for it.
Oh my god. Wow.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies. Eliminate all targets in the AO.
Connectivity company, if you're not
Has yet been not returned.
you can't be a great
But while
security
Neptune and
company,
Uranus
I
have fallen back into the
handle
distance,
things that
you
are
don't
even
need to
scale
let
machines. You can't be really
another
people
even
very
more
good.
distant.
That's wrong.
That's waiting for the first.
Hey, who the fuck are you?
I started.
Bullshit.
On the 1930s, a 23-year-old junior researcher at the Lowell
Training camp.
Observatory
It's the Gulag, and you're gonna have to fight to earn redeployment.
So recently I electric paramotor, the SP140. So far I've posted the unboxing, assembly, and
Now done.
light impressions.
Ready up for
But today
redeployment.
we're going to answer the big burning question: what is the max flight time on this paramotor? But before we get into that, I want to remind you guys that we are actually giving away this exact paramotor. But how do you enter to win?
You're
Let me
losing
tell you.
ground. Move it.
That's right, it's insane. We have 3 brand new t-shirt designs at Recent Distance Co. Also available as decals. We have the National Forest, the Adrenaline Addict, and the Topography, which I'm wearing today. So after this video is over, be sure to visit the first link in the description, check out the new designs, make a purchase, and get entered to win this pair. TuckerGod.com! So when it comes to electric parameters, there are definitely a lot of big advantages, but the main big disadvantage is the flight duration. OpenPPG claims that this paramotor can fly for 40 to 60 minutes, but I wanted to do some personal testing and see if that holds true. In order to do the most extensive testing, I devised 3 different tests. First, I was going to do the best case scenario, then the absolute worst case scenario, and the third is going to be a more realistic everyday scenario. Let's start with test number 1. This is going to be the best case scenario. For this test, I personally chose my Viper XC 16 meter. This is the most efficient glider I own and uses the lowest cruise RPM. For this test, my idea was to take off and fly straight and level, do minimal climbing and descending, and minimal turning, just running cruise power the entire flight. For this test, I'm also going to run the battery until it's completely dead and the motor shuts off, which I've never done before, so in this test we're going to find out what actually happens when the battery dies. Here's some footage on how it went, and also I'm going to be posting all 3 of these tests fully uncut on my Uncut second channel. So if you guys want to sit through those and see all the commentary of the entire flight, check out the second channel linked in the description. Let's get into the best case scenario.
Alrighty, so today we are doing the long duration testing, best possible scenario, in my opinion. I mean, we could get better with different technology, but with the technology I have today, I'm flying the Viper XC 16 meter,
Most wanted
which
contract
is the
here.
most efficient glider I personally know. I just took off from the field behind me on the electric paramotor, and let's talk about some data. I'm 6 minutes and 22 seconds into this flight. We're at 91% on our battery. I have my cruise control, which is pretty cool, set. So maximum efficiency for this testing. It's saying I'm at 200 feet. Basically for this flight, I'm going to fly away from home in a straight line on cruise control. And when I get somewhere close to 50%, or when I start to get range anxiety, I'm going to turn around and come back. And then I'll get back with some percentage left, and then I'll just hold around the landing area until the battery actually dies. I want to
You got a loadout drop inbound.
Maybe that's hopeful. Tune in for an update coming soon. Alright, status update. We're currently at 50.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone.
Abandoned heliport, which is kind of my goal. But at 58%, I'm starting to get range anxiety, which is probably a common theme of this motor if you have to take it the following from home. So I'm going to turn around 360 here and start heading back. And hopefully I have a tailwind to get prepared, if not run out of electric. But we're at 20 minutes, 350 feet, 89 volts. We use 1.9 kilowatt hours, which the battery's rated for 3.7. But yeah, it's going good. We're still cruising. I found that the cruise control, it works, but you kind of always set it a little high, and you're in a slight climb, or a little low in a slight descent. So I've opted to just do it manually right now. And I wish there should be
Gas is inbound.
Which would be really cool. It has an altimeter, which I
Most
assume
wanted contract here.
So there should be a way to have an altitude lock cruise control feature, which would be super.
You're the target of a most wanted contract. Eliminate threats and secure supply caches to close it.
You're not just building a bench. You're building a legacy. Not you. You. Use QuickBooks Payroll to pay employees easily and accurately. Payroll that does the heavy lifting. That's how business differently.
Cool. But yeah, back to the launch site. Alright, good news. We made it back to the over here.
Failure ain't fatal.
Stats,
It's just an
26%.
opportunity to do
36
better.
minutes and 20
Most
seconds.
wanted contract failed.
At this
Your squad
point,
mate was
I'm going to
KIA.
gain a little bit more altitude, and we're just going to circle the field. And I'm going to wait until this thing dies. We're already circling once. We made it a very, very slow climb to 448 feet. We're at 8% battery, 6%, 5%. More power. At 500 feet, 30%. See that there, we're going to be back with about 9%. We're at 1 minute, 24 minutes, 23 seconds. I got a trike. Mainly pilot weight, glider choice, and flying style. Pilot weight, I really could fly a much larger, oversized, even more efficient glider to get a lower speed RPM. And then I could fly the same flight super conservatively. And I truly believe I could hit 60 minutes doing that, but I also think that's highly impractical. Well, 60 minutes is probably achievable. Nobody wants to fly a glider that boat with that sort of difficult flying style if you have to reach that 60 minutes. My best case scenario, 44 minutes was all I was going to do.
So now let's move on to test number 2.
You got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Approach my 14-meter 3x2 This is the most power-hungry.
Gas drop is en route.
One of the most aggressive items on the market today. So this test I also put on the battery dead, so let's see how that goes.
This flight is killed the battery. I do like I have instant touch.
Gas is moving.
Alright, we can go pretty hard. Just cruise. Hallway. Water foot drag action. There's some diversity. Look out, Mr.
De puxirão, mandar mais leite mela rosca que tá acabando. Quem tira mais mela rosca. Tá acabando lá e pedir pra você fazer mais.
Não, meu filho, não, sem condição. Pra mim não tem como. Já deu meu horário, tô indo pra casa. Você vai ver. Estão vendo?
This thing has not cold for 70 degrees Celsius on the speed controller, which is pretty hot.
I need rockets!
These up a little bit higher. Not full power anymore. I feel like towards the end of this battery, we're just going to have a hard time maintaining a straight level, to be honest. Now when I squeeze the throttle,
Where's the fucking alien?
we're sitting 17% of full throttle. It's making, I would say, about half power right now. 9%, and we're maintaining out that full power. 6%, 5%, 4%, 1%, 18 minutes. And there's
Do you think?
The electric motor was pissed off to fly was like yes, I was good at that. But at the same time was not that enough.
Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone.
I don't feel for how the grades as voltage drops. Somewhere around 60% you can start to feel that full power is not full power anymore. 20% you're going to start not really as well. The last 10% basically cruise level. On this test I also took out of let's check temperatures just by hand. I would call it hot. Definitely. But I don't know if it was actually my hand. Battery is warm for the touch, but just barely. The battery pack was also warm, and it stayed warm for.
You got gas moving in.
But if there was
What the fuck shoes are you supposed to wear?
Not only is
this
this
would
not
be it, and I was
but
happy
the
to say
art
that
world is sick.
flawlessly.
It has been
Now for the third
poisoned
and final test, I wanted to replicate a
absolute
more casual,
ridiculous
normal,
sexual
contemporary
contemporary
I
garbage.
used my
This is a poison. It's a sickness. It's a parasite. These people are getting grants, selling their work
doing some
They should
stands,
have
also
no
some relaxing.
access to this kind of.
For this test, I didn't want to see battery. That's on the
Okay.
Go around if I needed to.
Yeah,
Or
scrape the fluid shavings off of that.
this is how that test works.
So you can get you some nice
Everyday
urban
flight is happening.
foods. Okay. We're going to the foods.
30 seconds into the flight.
Yeah, scrape the wood shavings off of that hot oil seats. So you can get you some nice urban wood soup. It's gonna come up.
Let's check our stats. We got 20 seconds in.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Just about this flight.
25 and left. Stay sharp out there.
Check my data. The accuracy power, we are at 7%. We're at 28 minutes and 41 seconds. Right at about what I was expecting. I wanted to end this flight around 5 to 10% on the battery. And this battery percentage, yeah, this is full power.
Gas is closing
This is
in.
a really slow fly. So I'm going to set up my landing pattern right now.
No, leave me alone, bro. Leave me alone.
Majority, I'm going to show you the one secret that separates winners from losers more than anything else. If this
The second category is going to be some more extra station flights to take off and fly around.
these are the just grab for the biggest hit as long as you stay.
Obviously, the SP-140 is not going to be capable of performing those long-distance, long-duration cross-country exploration flights. But for the majority of my flights around the LZ, just to get my quick fix, play some music, relax, get out some aggression, this motor will definitely fulfill those needs as long as they're handle. Conclusion for general pilots. I think that 30-minute mark is realistic. Flying your casual glider, just going
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
of most pilots. If you're on the heavier side, let's say 200 or 220 above, maybe you'll have to dial that back a little bit. And while I think the 60-minute flight is achievable technically, I think it's really unrealistic that someone's going to enjoy flying a super conservative glider. Super conservative.
Got gas moving in. Ten remain. You're almost done here.
Get that that ordering before May 4th, and you might just win this beautiful paramotor behind me. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Until the next one, have fun. Fly safe.
Paramotor.
And the Oscar goes to Emma Stone.
This is the second Oscar win and fifth nomination for Emma Stone. She took home her first Oscar for her leading performance in La La Land.
Oh, boy. My dress is broken. I think it happened during I'm Just Ken. I'm pretty sure. Oh, boy, this is really overwhelming. Sorry, but I really just want to thank my family, my mom, my brother, Spencer, my dad, my husband, Dave. I love you so much. And most importantly, my daughter, who's going to be 3 in 3 days and has turned our lives technicolor. I love you bigger than the whole sky, my girl. So thank you so much. Don't look at the back of my dress. Thank you.
And the Oscar goes to Emma Stone.
I was up on a stage in New York City in 2014, accepting Billboard Woman of the Year, and I was talking about how we needed to make sure that the female artists, writers, and producers of the next generation were protected and compensated fairly. But my exact quote during this speech was, I really just feel like we need to continue to try to offer something to a younger generation of musicians, because somewhere right now, your future Woman of the Year is probably sitting in a piano lesson or in a girls' choir. And today, right now, we need to take care of her. I've since learned that at that exact moment, an 11-year-old girl in California really was taking piano lessons and really was in a girls' choir. And this year, she has been named Woman of the Year at the age of 17. Her name is Billy.
Check your weapons, check your gear. We're holding for deployment.
I was up on a stage in New York City in 2014, accepting Billboard Woman of the Year, and I was talking about how we needed to make sure that the female artists, writers, and producers of the next generation were protected and compensated fairly. But my exact quote during this speech was, I really just feel like we need to continue to try to offer something to a younger generation of musicians. Because somewhere right now, your future Woman of the Year is probably sitting in a piano lesson or in a girls' choir. And today, right now, take care of her. I've since learned that
enemies
at that
are dropping into the area.
An
Watch the
11-year-old
skies.
girl in California really was taking piano lessons and really was in a girls' choir. And this
All stations, we are green to go. Stand by for deployment.
At the age of 17. Her name is Billy. I was on stage.
Gang's all here. Word came down. We are green to go. So gear up, grab your shoots. We're going to the war zone. Engagement are simple. Weapons free on all 3.
But my exact quote during this speech was, I really
I'll see you on the other side. Battle Royale.
Today, right now, we need to take care of her. I've since learned that at that
Gas is approaching on your position. Move to the safe zone.
California really was
Gas drop inbound.
Really was in a girls' choir. This year, she's been named Woman of the Year at the age of 17. Her name is Billy. I was up on the stage. I was talking about how we need to make sure that the female artists
Targets are up. Go take them down. We're in hell, and you're in it. This is the Gulag, where you fight to win redeployment.
I was up on the stage in New York City in 2004.
successfully over them in the future.
Generation with protected and compensated care.
Gave it a solid
My
try.
exact quote during the speech
Time to head
was,
back to
I
base.
really just feel like we need to continue to try
They hit us hard that
something
time.
to a younger generation
Let's
of
regroup and get
musicians.
back up there,
Because
yep?
somewhere right now, your future woman of the year is probably sitting in a piano lesson or in a girls' choir. And today, right now, we need to take care of her. I've since learned that at that exact moment, an 11-year-old girl in California really
I do not have a human being. I have long lived this feature. A magnetically attached back door covering an easily swappable solid state Gen 4 SSD. Speaking of which, they're already here. Let's see what that Snapdragon
Gas is closing in.
inside. This not heard of it. And we can unplug the largest Lego style ribbon connector we've ever seen. It's a good thing I'm sitting down right now, or I'd fall over from shock. There are QR codes inside that link directly to downloadable repair guides. I wish I had but more than one thumbs up to give. The Snapdragon X Elite looks pretty cool, all shiny and reflective and stuff. It's a shame that no one else gets to see it but you guys. With 9 more screws gone, the battery comes free from the tablet. No mess, no fire, and no explosions. Just some small white text that recommends a replacement by experienced individuals. I don't know how Microsoft put a whole computer into a space the size of an iPad, but I'm a huge fan of this trend, and I hope it continues. I do
When
want
you fly on planes during the day, I don't know if you notice, but sometimes it's just dark. Why do they do this? Because if it was lights, people would just stand up all the time and queue off and play on the corridors and ask for drinks non-stop. And the crew doesn't like it. They want to sit down and relax, so they keep everything dark. So at the macro level, it's the same thing. It's easier to control people if you control the narrative and you keep them busy, as you say. When you fly on planes during the day,
I'm amazing with this right here. QR codes inside that lead directly to downloadable repair guides. I wish I had more than one thumbs up to give. The Snapdragon X Elite looks pretty cool, all shiny and reflective and stuff. It's a shame that no one else gets to see it but you guys. With 9 more screws gone, the battery comes free from the tablet. No mess, no fire, and no explosions. Just some small white text that recommends a replacement by experienced individuals. I don't know how Microsoft put a whole computer into a space the size of an iPad, but I'm a huge fan of this trend. I hope it continues. Might be one tap on each good.
Check your gear and weapons. We'll be deploying shortly.
This choice was swappable solid. Let's see what that Snapdragon processor inside. You can get anything. Anything. Good thing I'm sitting down right now, or I'll fall asleep in shock. I wish I had it more than one thumbs up. Snapdragon X looks pretty good. It's got
Playtime's over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Yo, check this out. Just some small white text that recommends a replacement by experienced individuals.
Looking like a real team. We got the green light. We're going to the war zone. Grab your gear and shoot. You're up in 3. Rules of engagement are simple. Weapons free on all threats.
Yo, check this out. Well, good stuff. Definitely try and repair it.
I'll see you on the other side.
Let's try real fast.
Battle Royale.
Fix up Facebook. We don't do this route. Enjoy your midlife crisis.
Clear that gas. Get to the safe zone.
I wish I had that something. The Snapdragon X looks pretty cool. Shiny, reflective and stuff. No one else gets to see it but you guys. With 9 more screws gone, the battery comes from the tablet, and mass no fire and no explosion. Just a small white text that recommends a replacement by experienced individuals. I don't know how Microsoft put a whole computer into a space the size of an iPad, but I'm a huge fan of it. I hope it continues. I just want to
Video saying that headphones we're not getting that Uzi. We're going for more people. Okay, now we can get a weapon upgrade. Sweet. Look how much stronger we are. Maybe get that drone. Now we're gonna get that drone. We got a big upgrade here, though. Look at those troops, baby. What should we go with? I don't know. I lost so many. This game is real, and it's called Last War Survival. It's become a trend for fake ads to show these fun levels, but then the gameplay looks completely different. But that's not the case with the Last War Survival, because the developers actually made the game with all those fake ads for you to play. And I've had so much fun playing it. I know you will too. Just tap your screen now and download for free. We're not getting that Uzi. We're going for more people. Okay, awesome. Now we can get a weapon upgrade. Sweet. Look how much stronger we are. Maybe get that drone. No, I get that drone. We got a big upgrade here, though. Look at those troops, baby. What should we go with? I don't know. I lost so many. This game is real, and it's called Last War Survival. It's become a trend for fake ads to show these fun levels, but then the gameplay looks completely different. That's not the case with the Last War Survival, because the developers actually made the game with all those fake ads for you to play. And I've had so much fun playing it. I
You're
know
losing
you
ground.
will too.
Move
Just
it.
tap your screen now and
Primary
download for
objective
free.
is to eliminate
Dude, we're
all
not getting that
targets.
Uzi. We're going for people. Okay, awesome. Now we can get a weapon upgrade. Sweet. Look how much stronger we are. Maybe get that drone. No, I get that drone. We got a big upgrade here, though. Look at those troops, baby. What should we go with? I don't know. So many. This is real, and it's called...
Bounty contract here.
Bounty targets marked. Kill them all. All bounty targets destroyed. Hell of a job. Target is EKIA. Airdrop is inbound. Enemy soldier incoming. Loadout drop headed your way.
I didn't even get the deploy package. That's so lame.
Training camp. It's the gulag. And you're gonna have to fight to earn redeployment. Gas is inbound. Enemies dropping into the AO.
Close one.
Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone. High-value target marked. Expect resistance. Gas is moving. Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. We lost that one, but we'll get those sumbitches next time.
The origin of the first generation of Pokemon games is a fascinating tale that involves real-life bug catching, trademark difficulties, almost losing years of work, and defying the expectations of Nintendo, who didn't understand the concept of collecting monsters. To get the full picture, we have to go all the way back to the 70s, when a child named Satoshi Tajiri developed a fascination with catching and collecting insects in a western Tokyo suburb called Mashida, where Satoshi grew up. He enjoyed exploring the rural parts, such as rice fields, rivers, and forests. On his adventures, Satoshi searched for insects, fish, and other creatures. There was something about the way they moved that mesmerized him. He studied all the creatures he brought home and thought of new ideas of how to catch them. For example, most of the other kids would catch beetles using honey, but Satoshi had the idea of putting a stone under a tree, because beetles sleep during the day and they like sleeping under stones. It made finding them a breeze, and as a result, Satoshi would collect more bugs than all of his friends. Little discoveries like that excited him each and every time. His bug-catching skills also earned him the nickname Dr. Bug among the neighboring kids. Aside from exploring his neighborhood, Satoshi was also fascinated with Ultraman on TV and in manga. He stated in an interview with Time magazine that if games didn't exist, he would probably be making anime. In 2001, Satoshi also frequented local arcades, starting around 1978, and became hooked on games. He was probably more interested in video games. Then there was barely any games for media. His networks have been created. They are having a good range of games now. This here you see behind it sends a message to organized crime that if you think it's easy to get stolen. It featured secret tips and tricks on how to beat arcade games and was available in specialist bookstores for 200 yen. The most popular issue managed to sell over 10,000 copies, so at a pretty young age, Satoshi already had a real business going. One of the people that brought the magazine was none other than Ken Sugimori, who would become the primary character designer and art director for Pokemon. Ken enjoyed reading the magazine and got in touch with Satoshi to offer services as an illustrator.
Use this time for some target practice. Real thing's coming soon.
In which he became friends with Pokemon and Pokemon arcade games. One day, Ken talked about how arcade games often very similar.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
One of the other people who still has the plan to do and an access to games. Pretty soon I had some pictures. Also together and talk about games in the random country. From that game, I concluded
all stations, green light. We are deploying to the war zone.
A place I was born with rivers and now they replaced in housing facilities.
This is your family now. Word came down. We are green to go. So gear up, grab your chutes. We're going to the war zone. Enemy activity will be high. Expect contact early and often.
More and more urbanization, the young proposal wants to find
Let's get this done. Battle Royale.
Favorite activities such as playing video games and watching Ultraman, Nathan Brown were first Pokemon games.
Be advised, gas is closing in. Proceed to the safe zone. Be advised, gas drop is inbound.
Capabilities of Nintendo's first handheld console seem like a perfect fit for Pokemon. Today, you can
This is what I mean when I say I have a problem with the new console. With the new console, it's going to be this one. This situation here. So speed, so like this is the plane, and it drops into the system. This is how it will be big. Okay, this is the whole. I have to assemble a big structure to think how to say it.
It's all background. It's dark with that will take a lot of focus on adventures. well as how games work. Interestingly, the game is quite a different version of the normal Pokemon, and this makes sense given that Satoshi and the other creators originally set out to make a more
down the
traditional
enemy.
RPG-like game. For starters, the project's original name was Capsule Monsters, inspired by both the popular Japanese capsule toys called Gashapon, the special vending machine, and Ultraman's capsule Kaiju. It's this latter inspiration, however, that got the team into trouble trying to trademark the name, and they eventually had to change it to Pocket Monsters, or Pokemon. So like this is the RPG trope, checking into a hotel or inn, was detailed in the concept pitch. Of course, players can still go to a Pokemon Center in the final game and heal their Pokemon, but it doesn't offer a room for the player to rest in. Another clear difference from the final games are the shopkeepers. This drawing depicts the main character trying to buy a Lapras from a shopkeeper, who can be seen keeping Pokemon in cages. While there's an opportunity in the Gen 1 games to exchange Pokemons for tokens at Celadon City, it's certainly not possible in the Pokemarks. Documents to feature the charisma tracks, being able to trade multiple Pokemon at once, and emphasis on collecting items like the return models. Additionally, the included schedule
You're losing ground. Move it.
as well as the total amount of XP and each Pokemon has during battles. TP was probably a precursor for PP and most likely stood for technical points. The drawings also depict the ability to sell your Pokemon for gold, the currency that was used before it was switched to yen. Not only that, it's likely that an early idea was to assign a gold value to each Pokemon, as well as an intelligence stat, as happened in this sketch. Surprisingly, the concept pitch also includes a female version of the protagonist, something that was introduced for the first time in Pokemon Crystal. Speaking of the protagonist, an early idea was to let the player character participate in battles. The original player sprite can be seen holding a whip and has a tougher-looking physique. At one time, the protagonist would fight as well, but then we asked ourselves, if you can fight on your own, what's the point of having Pokemon? The fact that features such as buying Pokemon from shopkeepers and the player participating in battles were cut from the final game is also a result of the team deciding to treat Pokemon more like friends instead of pets. It was also around this time that Game Freak started to lean more towards the Pokemon collecting aspect and less towards creating a more traditional RPG. When we were writing the text for the Pokédex, we started talking about how fun it was to collect Pokemon. We felt a story about a boy traveling to fill up his Pokédex was more appropriate for modern times than a tale of a hero battling an evil villain.
Luxury is where you are. That's Das. Hagen-Dazs.
You've always wanted to be part of something bigger than yourself. You live for experience and lead for light. You want the most out of life and realize what you're looking for is already in you.
Move in here.
This is for you. To Government of Canada.
An early sketch of the character national classified document and reveals early landmarks based on the realized Kanto region in Japan. These landmarks were later reworked into locations such as the Pokemon Tower and Saffron City. Fun fact, Pallet Town.
And that's all they wrote. A well-earned redeployment, soldier. Stand by. Friendly loadout drops on the way. Gas is moving in. New
No
safe
smudging
zone located.
contract here.
marked as a most wanted target. Kill enemies and secure supply caches to close the contract on your head.
Sorry, I've got like a fucking crumb in my bed or something. The final boss. Do 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 do.
Let's get back. Mitchell, you're still patient. Well, first. Mechanical ethereal in this game.
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Yeah. It's racing. That's the right. That's the wish. Maybe it's an item. It's the machine and chains.
Most wanted contract closed. Supply drops inbound on your location. Good work. Gas is moving. Intel shows a bunker nearby. Eyes up, you hear?
This week on Bedtime Stories, we will be exploring one of the most notorious covert military projects of all time, involving an alleged
Bounty
attempt
contract
during
here.
World War II to make a naval vessel disappear from the visual plane. In the aftermath, it was soon discovered that the test had tragic consequences, leaving many of its crew in states of unimaginable insanity, catatonia, and in some cases, far worse. Join us as we examine the infamous Philadelphia experiment. Websites that haven't been to before. Sometimes it can be sketchy when it's weird parts of the internet, but I know I'm safe when I use my Surfshark VPN. It has a clean web feature that blocks over 1 million known malicious websites, phishing methods, and other threats. I also love that Surfshark doesn't collect my browser. He would explain how
Loadout drop headed
the
your
US
way.
military had managed to seemingly
Let's try it again. Tell us about
This
it.
week on Bedtime Stories, we will be exploring one of the most notorious covert
Bounty
military
contract
projects
here.
of all time, involving an alleged attempt during World War II to make a naval vessel disappear from the visual plane.
Bounty.
In the aftermath, it was soon discovered that the test had tragic consequences, leaving many of its crew in states of unimaginable insanity, catatonia, and in some cases, far worse.
Oh my god, he's driving my
Join
fucking
us
car,
as we
that little
examine the
bastard.
infamous
Got
Philadelphia
gas moving in.
experiment.
What a little bastard.
But first, thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this episode. When I'm researching these stories, I visit many websites that I haven't been to before. Sometimes it can be sketchy going to these weird corners of the internet, but I know I'm safe when I use my Surfshark VPN. It has a clean web feature that blocks over 1 million known malicious websites, phishing methods, and other threats. I also love that Surfshark doesn't collect my browsing data due to their no-logs policies. I highly recommend getting a VPN to keep you safe when you're browsing online. There are lots of VPNs out there, but Surfshark is not only one of the fastest, but the only one to reach coverage of 100 countries. If you've never used a VPN or are looking for a new one, this is a great time to try Surfshark. And for a limited time, there's an exclusive Surfshark holiday deal.
Speed
Go
it
to
up with this shit.
surfshark.deal/bedtime stories to get up to 6 additional months for free. That's
For free.
surfshark.deal/bedtime stories
For
and use
free.
promo code bedtime stories to protect your online privacy today.
Like, oh, tell us. Oh, won't you? Oh, now we're good.
On the evening of October the 28th, 1943, Carl Allen and his crewmates had been waiting on the deck of their ship, the SS Henry Curacet. Nearly 100 meters away from their position was a black destroyer escort.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new safe zone. The enemy took that one.
Only
but we'll
5
get
minutes
them back.
before, the deck and upper workings of that vessel had been a hubbub of activity until the order had been given for her crew to go below. Now, as she sat there on the surface of the water, surrounded by a plethora of other ships, she seemed almost abandoned. Allen and his crewmates speculated amongst themselves on what they were about to witness, but no one was sure. They had only heard whispers. In any case, the mumbled conversation soon subsided as
Gas is closing in.
began to emanate from the Eldridge. As they watched on,
It appeared that she was beginning to smoke, but upon closer inspection, they realized that the greenish haze with no apparent source was now enveloping her entire hull. It quickly expanded far beyond her superstructure, to a point where it hung in the air only a meter or so from the deck of the Andrew Furuseth.
Living with his wife in Arizona, experienced left him 3 days after he was amputated, but 5 years later, she will regret
Alan
it.
and his crewmates were amazed to see that whilst the green haze had remained, the destroyer escort itself had completely vanished. As a low murmur of amazement began to circulate amongst them, Alan leaned over the deck railings and reached out, in an attempt to penetrate the strange greenish fog before him. But rather than going through the vapor, his attempt was repelled. After several more minutes, they were surprised by another brilliant flash, which quickly subsided. To their utter astonishment, the Eldridge had now returned to her original position.
Right, we're gonna switch over to our next video, so stay tuned.
Alan caught sight of several technicians, scientists, and Navy personnel getting into waiting launches and making their way towards the destroyer escort. To his eyes, there was now an ominous air about the vessel, a brooding silence which he seemed almost to spectre